Hello, this is Vulturefire, and it's time for another fresh start run. So the last video we had got our depth 1 wins with all of the remaining characters, which means it is now time to start our depth 3 runs. So, Kaiton. Kaiton is my boy. Kaiton is the first character that was added to the game after I started playing, and I was involved in the beta testing for Kaiton. His level 10 passive was my idea. Although it had to be nerfed. The initial version didn't have the extra cost on the copy, but that was too powerful. I'm responsible for getting a lot of his stuff nerfed, although I'm far from the only great Kaiton player. Hamid and Raz in the Discord are also amazing. But nevertheless, the point is, last fresh start, I completely flubbed a lot of Kaiton runs. I just threw them straight in the garbage over and over again, and it was kind of embarrassing. So my goal this time is to not do that. So with that in mind, let's see what we can put together to get the best deck possible. So I did create the initial starting deck, but it didn't have access to overflow, and I think that's a pretty significant difference. We'll run a burst of strength. We will run 2 shifting focuses, 1 focus that does technically put us at 5 mana cards because of the overflows. We will also take, so of the Kaiton cards, Spell Slash is very good. I think we want at least 1 adaptative defense. We're probably going to end up running 2. One of the things is this deck, our goal is to be fairly cheap so that we can do as much as possible, as cheaply as possible, basically. So I think we do want the introspection because our goal is to try and get turn 1 kills. So we want to be low to the ground on mana cost so that we can run as few mana cards as possible while still being functional. And then the question becomes, do we want any nods to defense at all? Because if so, we would probably want a shielded strike. The other card that we could run is Heroic Vigor, which is another mighty source, although we do already get mighty from our shifting focus. We could also run Hone, but again, we already get critical from our shifting focus, so that may not be necessary. I don't think we want combat ready. We could run a second burst of strength, or we could run the follow-up strike. The follow-up strike, so the downside of the burst of strength is that it doesn't do anything on its own, but it is very good with all of our other stuff. The downside to follow-up strike is that it doesn't play nice with stance swapping. Ideally what we want here is Heated Strike, which is a Kaiton level 5 card, I believe, but we don't have that yet, so we can't use it. We could also use Slash. I am ideologically opposed to Slash for very silly reasons. Basically, it's just not a card I tend to respect, but it may be the card we actually need here, just because we don't have that many other strike options, and having a strike that will let us throw into spell stance is nice, although we're definitely going to cut that when we can. We are going to buy this one because, again, we are not buying any packs in the fresh start run, and we are absolutely going to the ramparts to see what we can get. All right, so this is not the boss we would like to fight, and this is absolutely not the boss we would like to fight. Hollow Maw is potentially a nightmare, but we'll see what we can find. Okay, so we do get to fight this, so that's something. We do get the shot at Enraged Persistence, and then Rip Open isn't that good, but it's not terrible. Versatile Strike is not terribly useful, but it's fine. And then we can come up here and get another shot at one of these two, and really any of these are fine, because we can use all the modes on Rampage. And then here again, like Pitiful Strike is very good. Although we're not level 4, so we won't get the Vengeance. So let's start by getting the critical set up. And so, yeah. It's kind of an awkward split on our cards, I say, but it's fine. This is actually going to be lethal. And we could have drawn into more cards if we needed to. Careless Strike is pretty good, but I think we want the Undying Persistence, just because that will let us draw into more skills, which is usually pretty good. Okay, so we are actually going... I feel like there's supposed to be a fight there. Let me bug report that real quick. All right, moving on. Let's see. Get one of our buffs. Get the other buff. Trying to figure out which. The answer may be that we don't get to play that at all. Okay, we do get to play, and we do get to get one blade out, which isn't too bad considering. Oh, I should have played that. This is not particularly useful. Arcane Strike is pretty good. The Arms Race is also pretty good. Alright. Trying to figure out how we... The mana here is a little bit awkward. By a little bit awkward, I mean pretty awkward. And we can do that, but it means that we don't have any. So one of the things is, like, the starting hands, you're guaranteed to get a certain amount of mana, but the overflows are mana cards, which, yeah, sometimes a problem. Alright, so this will always draw us exactly slash, which is... Oh no, because we have arcane whatever now. It's a little bit of an awkward hand again. I think our best bet is just to do this and then play out both magic blades. Oh, so that's where our problem is that both of our shifting focuses were sitting on the bottom of our deck. I'm not sure it was worth doing that, but I did it, so. All right. Okay. Yeah, the adaptive defenses costing a decent amount of mana can be a little bit of a problem. Soulcatcher Ingot seems potentially useful because mana is kind of our problem. We absolutely need to focus on taking some good mana cards and probably upgrade a mana card after this fight. Normally I would upgrade something else, but we're having enough struggles with mana that I think we kind of have to upgrade a mana card. Do that. Which will let us get this going. This actually works out fairly well as far as things go. And we take a tiny amount of damage, but it's fine. Because this turn we're not taking any damage. I think we pitched that. Do we play this? Yes, I think so. And then, yeah, this works out nicely. Okay. So far, more or less good. Ooh, Bouncing Bolt seems good. It does kind of demand an upgrade, but is a very good... I think we're going to upgrade the Focus Plus. I think that's going to do a lot of work for us. I think we may cut... We can't really cut the Slash when it's one of our only whatever. I think the Undying Persistence is kind of underwhelming right now. And then we're going to go... Let's see. Sharpened Weapons is okay, but I think these two are better. Okay. This is another instance where it's a little bit awkward that our mana works out this way. Where, yeah, the fact that these are... Oh, right. We have the Soulcatcher Ingot. That's absolutely going to save us. Because this is going to kill again. Killed before and will kill again. Okay. And then, yeah, we get whacked a little. Get some powerful. Okay. Get some mighty. Get some critical. And now it all goes away. Okay. I think we're going to just get this out. And we need to get the Bouncing Bolt upgraded. Kitana's a character who, like I think I mentioned in the last video, really wants to be in quick play just because you have so many things that you want upgrades on. I think we need the Runic Focus. you're running a little high on mana right now. We would also like a lot of card draw. Okay, so we need to get these going, which I think the best way to do that is like this. Although we're not quite going to kill these, and that's kind of annoying because it's going to set up a gross amount of shield. There's not a ton we can do about it. Yeah. And this is where like having card draw trinkets helps a lot with getting the flow of things going. Should we draw? Okay. The drawing of strikes isn't super valuable for us right now, but the powerful is, I think. Although I guess not really, because we... Yeah, I'm doing bad. Poorly at managing mana. This guy will use up a lot of his shield this turn, but... And yeah, in this awkward position again, it's like we don't have any actual mana here. We may just have to get shield. Yeah, I think our best bet is actually just to get shield, unfortunately. And we just get beat up a bunch. Suppose I could have rolled the 50% chance of that being a critical and getting a kill. Oof, that was a lousy roll on that draw. Yeah, our deck is really not working quite yet. Katon, like, and this was a problem that I hit with the last fresh start, is that to some extent Katon is a character that really wants a lot of cards that are not unlocked by default in order to function kind of at his best. I think we want to do, that's not going to kill, but that will ensure that this kills. Stinging Strike is pretty good. That'll let us replace the Slash. That's pretty good. And this should drop us a card that we want, because I think we're pretty happy with all of the cards that can drop from this fight. Let's see. I think we're going to draw cards. Oh, I should have seen if I could find a way to get to 0 without using whatever, but I don't think there was one. Of course, you're doing the most dangerous thing you can do on turn 1, which is not my preference. That means that the pressure on killing this is pretty high. Because if we can't kill that this turn, we are going to have a much worse day. Let's see, will this kill? I think we're going to do this into this. Alright. So the good news is we did kill that. So we aren't in as bad of a position as we could be. Do we just pitch this? We won't have a spell. We will have spells. I think we discard that. That's an awkward way for that math to line up. But we do eventually get there. Alright, Rampage is... I don't know if Rampage is as good as Arms Race right now. That is... It's not bad, but... Yeah, I think we cut the Slash. I don't like it. It's not bad, but I don't like it. And unfortunately, neither of these do anything for us. And this fight in particular could be a bit of a nightmare, although Soulcatcher Ingot helps. You're just guaranteed to draw a Stinging Strike. So one of the big differences between Katon and Shrew, who we'll play later, is that, I mean, we won't have Shrew's level 4 passive either, so I guess it's irrelevant, is that Shrew gets evasion every time Shrew gets a kill, which means on these wider fights, you're kind of in a better position. All right, let's see what we draw. Okay, so we definitely want to get strikes out here. we do want to kill them. And then we can just actually finish. Well, you're going to summon over. I guess you're only summoning once. Let's go ahead and... Oh, and then we can't do that because we just spent our mana. Whoops. Okay. Let's see. I think we are on get strikes again. Although I think we're discarding one of them to this. And then this should work out pretty well. We would love to have like Frost Strike here. And Frost Strike was a default card for a bit during whatever, but it didn't. It got changed. I think we take the Aether Storm, although it does. Like, it's another one of those cards that kind of needs an upgrade. I don't think we. I think both of these are more important to us. And I think we upgrade. I really want Arm Strikes Plus, but I think Bouncing Bolt Plus is a huge upgrade, just because of how much that helps us play it out. I don't think I want to cut anything yet. It's possible the Aether Storm will end up being bad. We can go after Elemental Strike, but we won't have a reroll token for it. Unfortunately, we are going to have to deal with Drakes, but that's fine. I mean, especially with the Aether Storm, I think we should be able to manage Drakes. Okay. So the plan here is we are going to get maximum Bouncing Bolt value out here. And get the kill. Bouncing Bolt is pretty good. Brainstorm's pretty good. We will need more mana at some point. And that is kind of the delicate balance with this deck, is going to be getting enough mana while still having enough... I think we want to use these on that. Getting enough mana while also still having enough... Or getting enough card draw and enough mana while still without like overloading on either of those to the point where we can't actually do anything. Focus on killing you. I think we can use a lot of strikes here because we have this overflow. Imagine actually doing math. And yeah, we could. We're just gonna tag you in turn. Okay. Trying to figure out how we get the stuff we want. I think that is the answer. So I want to redraw this. But lining this up doesn't quite work out that way. So that's going to kill you. And that's going to blow you up. And there we go. Alright, so we got the kill. And we are kind of humming along here. I'll take a Power Surge. That seems fine. I would like to go here for the upgrade, but I think we just want this event. And I don't want to deal with this fight. Because 100 bytes is okay, but I don't know that it's worth going through this fight to get. But 100 bytes is pretty good. I think it's worth it. It is a 50-50 shot that we don't get it, but we could also get a reroll token, which we could save for Elemental Strike. I think the combination of those two possibilities makes it worth it. Alright. We are now mighty. Trying to think through how this works out as far as spells goes. As far as sequencing goes. I think we are getting spells out of the adaptative defense. Yeah, that is how this is going to work out. So the nice thing here is that the Arcane Strike is going to take away the Poison Blood, so we are limited in how much damage we're taking from that. We are getting a pretty good amount of damage here, which will help. Although the Poison Blood does come back each turn. Okay, so we get more strikes out of this. We can force the reshuffle which I don't think we want to do quite yet. Unfortunately, when we get shocked, we don't get any value out of it right now because we are not on whatever. All right, so we're going to start with that. We are going to do this, which will pop that. Okay. We aren't actually taking any damage this turn, which is nice. We still don't even manage to avoid getting shocked because we just ended up drawing that many cards. Which I kind of expected to draw more cards, but I'm not going to complain about not getting shocked. Once again, discard that. All right, we only have the one. I should have played this out first. All right, well that was relatively painless. We did take some damage, but not too much. And we even got the card we were looking for, which is great. And the upgrade's pretty nice. So that makes that very good. I think we want Arms Race Plus though. Again, there's so many great upgrades here. This, again, would be amazing with the level 7 passive, but we don't have the level 7 passive. I still think it's better than this, because I think, again, this might be better than Soulcatcher Ingot if we get Elemental Strike and can freeze things. But if we can't, I don't like this. We'll take that. We're going up against Emerald. Okay, so Emerald absolutely can kill us. That's a real threat. I mean, there are a lot of enemies in this game that can kill us, but Emerald, I think, is one of the more pressing problems. I think it's not worth trying to use this when we already have the fatigue, although that may be a mistake considering you now have all that plated set up. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't really go at you, or not as much as we would need to get real value. So yeah, this fight's gonna hurt. And it's even gonna take away one of our powerful, which is just rude. Oh right, and we lost our other rank of whatever it was because of things. Pitch that. Get Arcane Strike back. Alright. So yeah, that fight hurt us more than any other fight this area. Gathering Bolt's okay. I think we just take the Shifting Focus, because it is still very good. We'll go here. And we'll hope that we can manage this fight effectively. This turn can be a problem though. Or more specifically, next turn can be a problem. And this is not a great opening hand. I think we'll just take an extra critical for next turn. And then we do get at least to play that twice. But yeah, that was a very bad turn one, and that could be a big problem for us going forward. We'll see what we can find. Okay. We still can't hit 0 mana, which is a problem. Yeah, because we're about to get frozen here. And we take a lot of damage. Again, not like lethal damage, but it's not pretty. Because this turn we get Arcane detonated for another... That was all the cards we needed. That's a problem. This may actually kill us. Okay. So we need to get either the win or close to it this turn. Ideally, we just win outright, obviously, but we'll see if that's possible. Oh, I need to get Mighty set up. How do we get to exactly 0 becomes the question. Okay, like so. It's not really the card. Oh, we just win. That's fine. Okay. So we took like 40 damage there, something like that. Elemental Strike, we did get the card we were digging for at least. That makes me want to upgrade the Erase Persistence to get us more strikes. And then cut... I don't think we can afford to cut the Introspection. We may cut one of the Shifting Focuses. I don't know that we need 3 of them. And we're just going to go event. Okay, this is a fight where I absolutely should have rested beforehand. And if I had known that we were going to definitely get this fight, I probably would have. Alright, we are going to be able to get this active. Oh no, we're in the wrong mode. We can't get arms race off. That's unfortunate. Right, let's see what we find. I think we're going to pitch one of these, which should force the reshuffle into Elemental Strike. Yeah, because we only have the 4 strikes and we were holding one of them. So now we're in good shape. Or at least okay shape. I think this is more valuable than playing that. Alright. Okay. So we didn't get Elemental back. So we aren't doing whatever strikes, but we aren't dying. And we do get an extra boss fight reward out of this, which is great. I think we want the Vampiric Strike, potentially. It is expensive, but it does heal us. The Chimera Form gives us more mighty. We may also take... I think we need the Vampiric Strike, unfortunately. I think we can take that, or we're just not drawing enough for that to be a serious problem. I kind of want to upgrade this 100 bytes. We may cut the Arcane Strike, since we have Elemental and Vampiric, and we want to keep the number of total strikes we have down. There's a chance that next one is a fight. It is not. Ooh. This beats out the Soul Catcher's Ingot. Do we need another 100 bytes? I think that this fight is too spooky, and I don't think we need it. Although this fight can also be spooky, but I think it's less spooky. Obviously, we get a card draw trinket that wasn't reliant on whatever. We'd be pretty happy. If it wasn't reliant on hitting 0 mana, we'd be pretty happy. Although the fact that it does double as a mana generator is nice. And also, Vampiric Strike is now just incidentally got way better as a result of picking up that one thing. All right, we are absolutely going to copy this, because we need the ability to potentially draw more cards. I think we pop you. There we go. Nice and clean. Yeah, that bleed is very nice from that thing. Power Blast is very good. I think we just want the Hardened Strike, though. I think the Temporary Powerful is valuable. Although it does mean we are, once again, kind of overloading on strikes. We'll absolutely rest before going into this fight. This fight is, again, kind of scary. We don't have any... We did never find any burn things, so we'll get rid of that. And here we go. This is a good thing to find on turn 1. Although... I'm trying to figure out how we get to 0 mana. That was very inefficient, but I think we just get extra mighty set up for next turn, because we're not winning this turn. But fortunately we are freezing this turn, which helps. Okay, I think we are copying this. And we're going to go ahead and do that immediately. And we're going to pitch. I don't know that we're ever going to afford that. Oh, whoops. I shouldn't have played that yet, because we were going to draw right back into. We don't have any more strikes to draw into. That was a mistake. So we want to get this out so we can get the mana out of it. And the blade. Alright, and we just are gonna win, looks like. Hooray! I think 20 ritual is the answer. Lightning Communion is not bad, but I think we want 20 ritual. I think, God, we didn't have so many good upgrades. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is pretty good. This is not good. This is expensive, but pretty good. I think it is. Oh, and this is pretty good. I think we upgrade Aether Storm. I think the extra hit is worth it. And the saving on mana is worth it. And I think we are moving on. Let's see. So we're fighting Maw. We did get Elemental Strike, so that helps. I think we have to go up this route because we want to get Gamble or the other thing. Trying to figure out what we fight on the way up. Because things like we want Hunter's Focus. That's the card that we want most. We don't super want to deal with this fight because it's a problem. We don't really want to deal with Prowlers, but we can. I think we'll start here and see how it goes. But yeah, Prowlers are a pain in the butt. It's a pretty good hand. You're just going to evade 100% if you actually play. Because that's just how this goes. Yeah, I think it is worth getting the extra hit of those out. If I can kill you outright, that'd be cool. Just... Alright, we take some damage, but Vampiric Strike will heal it back. Alright, we have... Just go and do that, because we can get this kill and then end up at full health. Tough choices. That's also pretty good. This is also pretty good. I think mana right now. Although I'm not confident that was correct. Yeah, I think we're gonna go through here. The question is, are we willing to gamble? And I think the answer might be that we have to. The other question is, how do we hit 0 mana? Like this, I guess. I'm okay with copying this, because that gets us a good amount of powerful. Which is, you know, useful. Alright, take 6, but we killed off one of them at least. And we are no longer dealing with Opportunist for this turn. So that's something. Just pitch that, we should have lethal. And there we go. Okay. Hunter's Focus is great. We are probably a bit high on mana right now, but that's fine. Don't really want that. I think the Sanguine Grimoire is better. Although it is, because we have the ability to freeze things with the Elemental Strike. Okay, so we are once again going to do this for value. This time though, I'm actually going to do things so we can get all of our cards out. I think we're going to do this. All right. Let's see, 100 bites should do a lot of the work we need here. Who needs skill when you have enraged persistence? Am I right? I don't know we need another spell. Frantic Onslaught's pretty good. We can pay for the shrivels, and that is a lot of damage. And decent amount of time we won't even have to worry about finding shrivels. Don't really want an item out of the shards. Sure. I probably should cut like one of the runic focuses. Or the introspection. I don't know, like the introspection is still card draw. Alright, we are once again just going straight to 0 mana. Debating if we're going to let's go and get that out, I guess, because it is worth a decent amount of damage. Alright, this should get us Elemental Strike. I think we're pitching this. We've got 1, 2. Is there a third strike already? No. Okay, so we do have to play another strike first. And that one's a pretty good one, because then that just freezes everything. Alright. And that'll kill everything off. Yeah. It's absolutely worth risking that one fight for the 100 bites. This is risky, but it's not bad. It does just have to be our last draw of the turn, which I don't know that we can rely on. Although, if we get things frozen, then that's also fine. Yeah. That's actually okay, because we're not really recovering a ton of health. I mean, we do have the Vampiric Strike, but just a little bit of extra cushion at the start of the fight. The nice thing about this fight in particular is we don't really care about what these jerks are up to. Oh. I was just going to just copy that, which is fine. Although we do need to get our mana down again. Which is a little bit awkward. Okay. And then see what we draw out of that. Not super what I'm looking for, but I should have done that differently. Because I wanted to have the Stinging Strike once we got Elemental Strike up. But I suppose that's fine. So now we've shocked you, which means we get extra damage out of this, which is nice. Alright, and so we didn't kill both of them, but we did kill, or we did freeze one of them. So we're now in decent shape, I think. Everyone gets evasion too. That's annoying, but fine. Actually, that's pretty good for us, because we'll just evade this incoming attack this turn. Which is good, because it looks like we are just... Okay, so that's going to do a lot of damage. Alright, we gain Frenzy 1, and the enemies gain an irrelevant buff. So we are now good to go for the rest of the fight. I feel like we should have no problems getting this out. One way or another, we will get a victory out of this. I think this is the one we least want to play twice. Go and do that. Oh, I should have done that first, because we may as well have gotten the powerful before we... Whomp. Should get that out, so we can make sure we get the heal. We weren't down that much health, but we were down a little bit. This is pretty good, I think. We didn't get offered Gamble. So this is... So the vulnerable... This would normally be even better on Khitan, because you would play this and you would get a bunch of Vengeance, but unfortunately that's just not a thing right now. Or we aren't at a high enough level to get that Vengeance, so that's unfortunate, but... I think we do upgrade a Spell Slash finally. And do we just cut the unupgraded Spell Slash? I don't think so. It's still pretty fine. I think we do cut the Introspection, though. That may have been a mistake, but I think it'll be fine. Probably. I don't know that we could... We probably can't fight CPU with this deck. In fact, I'm very confident we can't. So we are not even going to try if it's offered. Which it wasn't there, but we have another shot at potentially getting offered CPU. Okay. We're just going to do this whole thing. You know, that's not a bad thing to copy. Although obviously, does mean that we are getting somewhat poisoned. Oh, especially with the poison that we apply. Oops, that's fine. That's what Vampiric Strike is there for. Deciding if we want to copy this just for safety's sake instead of holding out for the persistence. I think the answer is yes. It ended up not being a huge deal, but alright, we can... I think we should go ahead and see what we're going to draw. Okay, so that's going to give... So we're going to draw cards as soon as one of these dies. We are now weak, but that's made up for by the buffs that boost that we get from other stuff. So basically, we get minus 25% damage dealt, which is perfectly mirrored by the plus 25% damage from hitting vulnerable things. But then also we get Predator, and we apply 4 debuffs, which is worth another 40%. So in total, playing that card is worth about plus 40% damage for us. And we killed something, so we get to draw cards. Because that's just how that card works. Because of the mark. I guess we'll just take more strikes. That's going to give us a decent number of strikes. Unfortunately now it hatches. But we can freeze and detonate, which is nice. That lets us deal with the main threat of this fight. And then we take a whole bunch of poison damage that was left over from that other jerk. Alright, unfortunately we did not get the Vampiric Strike back, so we are just going to end this down some health. I think we take another Brainstorm. No, you cannot have our Spyglass. Okay, and then this is the last of the fights that... Or, this is the last fight before the boss. I was going to say something else, but it was going to be something dumb, so I decided not to say it instead. You are probably going to get to attack us. That's actually going to be pretty good. Yeah, you're going to get to attack us after we do this, but we have this evasion from that buff we got, which means that you miss. Haha. Yes, I think it is worth getting out those quick blasts. And we get to freeze out everything, which is pretty dang good. Oh, we're not quite going to have the mana to play out the copy. In my head, we needed the quick blast because we weren't going to have anything to play because I totally forgot that we had this. But, there we go. Oh man, and then we get even more value, actually. Unfortunately, this may kill you, and we don't... Okay, good. We don't really want that one to die this turn. Because we want it to die when we're in a position to actually wail on the thing that it's summoned. Okay. Good. That's kind of what we were hoping to see. Although that is not really the part that we care the most about copying. Alright. Trying to figure out how we least overkill this. That seems okay. And then this should do good work. It'll freeze you. Set you up to have a bad day, which means that we now can use this. And yeah, that mark is actually useful, although it won't be useful obviously in the Maw fight itself. Okay, so overall this has been a very good run. I will take a Hunter's Focus and I will absolutely cut. I don't think we want this. I think this is better. Although like if the Maw fight goes along, that could be useful, but I think we've got enough damage that it's not a huge concern. Can we see? Okay, so yeah, we don't have... Okay, having Mighty going in is nice. And then I think that's the only one of the other buffs that we care about. Ooh, that's probably better than having the extra shield. Just ensures that we're going to be able to get that freeze out. I'm debating cutting one of our mana cards. Debating cutting an Adaptive Defense. I think we can cut one of the ship. We're going to cut an adaptive defense. I don't think we're going to need it. And then I am too lazy to figure out what else we can cut. So we're going into Maw with full health, and I feel pretty good about our ability to find a line here that will do some amount of good for us. We're obviously not going to get a turn 1 kill, especially not with this hand, but that's fine. And then I think we may copy this. Just have extra powerful. Yeah. Actually, let's do this so that we can get to stiff. All right, that means that this is going to draw those. But we do get hidden, which to go with our evasion ranks that we had is very nice. And these are actually pretty good. So the Shadow Slash is not amazing, but we can work with it. Absolutely want that extra elemental strike. And then this will draw us back into something at the cost of giving us a little bit of... Unfortunately, we don't line up at exactly 0, but I think we do play this because that'll force a shuffle, which is good for us. Okay, yeah. We are absolutely going to win this fight. Oh, not with that hand. Yeah. Okay. So we get out of that. Alright. That draws us. It's actually a very good thing to find. And then, yeah, there we go. Maw kill took us a few turns, but that's a level 2 win with whatever, which I believe we call that redemption. So it's another rundown where we have another level 2 win. And that leaves us with 2 more characters to get through. Paladin and the other one who isn't Paladin, and Shrew. And so I feel pretty good about our odds with both of those. Paladin is... We could go aggressive with Paladin. I think I'm probably going to go slightly more defensive with Paladin, but we will still be overall relatively aggressive. The Ramparts cards are just very good right now. It's possible they'll get nerfed in a later patch, but they are not nerfed right now. So anyway, I don't think we're going to buy anything right now. I think we're just going to end this video, and I will see you for the next one. Toodles.